Thank you, Dan. Good morning, everyone. 6 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m. It's Wednesday, October 2nd, 2019, 34 degrees outside. And I want to welcome you to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Happy to be here. It's Hump Day, Wednesday, and no guest today, so open lines all morning long. Anything that's on your mind, pick up the phone, 522-TALK, 522-8255, or you can text us, you can app chat us, you can reach us. You can download us, you can do anything. We are here for you. Oh, so.
Well, what an overnighter. It's just like, an overnighter is like, I don't know how anybody survived in radio, without the last 2 years. I mean, it's just like, really, what did people really talk about? It's just incredible. I mean, every night you sit down to watch the networks and cable news, and it's just, it's a whole set of priorities that have changed and shifted, but about the same thing.
I was going to say.
How do you talk about the same thing 260 different ways? It's incredible.
Well, I don't know. I guess, whoever coined the term spin needs some kind of an award. Because
very good.
The network sure seem to spin the way they want it, left, right, or somewhere in the middle. But it's this is a radio dream, Shane. You got to admit, man. It's if you got to be on radio, now's the time to be on it.
and you know who was on yesterday? To my happy surprise, was Bloomberg.
Yeah.
Wow! All of a sudden, he pops up now,
mm-hmm.
and I listen to the guy, and I'm sitting there going, okay, he picks Warren, maybe Kamala. No, they already have California. He doesn't need her.
Yeah.
Klobuchar, because Wisconsin. They need Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So he picks up her as vice president.
Yeah.
Year of the woman. Smart guy, wealthy guy, more successful in business than Trump.
Yeah.
Ran New York City for, 8 years, 10 years?
Yeah. A little better than de Blasio, but not much.
Yeah. Well, yeah. took over for
Giuliani.
For Giuliani. And I'm thinking, my God, all those boxes are better than anybody else they have on stage.
Well, I would say so.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah.
And he has the money to finance his own campaign if he wants to.
Catch up. Yeah, he could throw out $1 billion, $1.5 billion. Here $1 billion, there $1 billion, everywhere $1 billion.
Yeah. Pretty soon you're talking about real money.
Yeah, well, it's not real money when you get the $1 billion because you need $1 billion to make $1 billion. Like that's
It is easier, isn't it? It's much easier to make the second $1 billion if you've made the first one.
Oh, well, like the first million, second million. But the thing is, if you have first of all, if you have $1 billion to spend or you spend $1 billion, that's over the top crazy. I mean, it's like, well, and then you have Facebook, the face of Facebook yesterday gets up in his tight shirt.
Yeah.
It looks like he came from a gym every day. I can't believe this guy.
Well, he's young, And
he's a billionaire,
And apparently he eats right. Grows his own food,
Right.
Lives modestly, lives like a monk. He and his wife, they get the chickens and whatever. I don't know.
A modest 10,000 square foot home in the hills. You know how it is.
Well, yeah. All right, weather forecast for today. A slight chance of snow between 7 and 10 a.m. and partly cloudy, then gradually becoming sunny. We're looking for a high of 46 today, a chance of precip only 20%, so you may or may not see that snow other than just some sprinkling in the air. Tonight, it's going to be clear with a low around 27. And then on Thursday, sunny, a high near 57. And Thursday night, we'll have a low around 34. No rain or snow in that forecast. Friday, rain likely, mainly afternoon. and partly sunny with a high of 52. 70% chance of precip, 70% chance of rain for you. And Friday night, a chance of rain mixing with snow after 9 p.m., then gradually ending. And little or no snow accumulation is expected, but the chance for precip and snow is 50%. Saturday, a slight chance of rain and snow between noon and 3. Then a slight chance of rain after 3. Partly sunny with a high near 50. And a Saturday night, a slight chance of rain before midnight. Mostly cloudy with a high around 30. And then Sunday sunny with a high near 56. And Sunday night, mostly clear with a high around 34. And for your commute back to work Monday, sunny with a high near 64.
Wow, did you do all that in one breath?
Yeah. I am a highly paid professional.
Well, great news. I appreciate the weather, and I'm sure everyone in the valley does as well.
Well, but we got to give local temperatures, before we
I know that.
Do anything silly.
I know. Silly? Okay, go away.
Temperatures around the area right now: Livingston 33 degrees, Manhattan is 30, Three Forks is right at the freezing mark of 32, and Galton Gateway is at 30, Ennis 34, Big Sky 26 degrees. At the airport in Belgrade right now, 30 degrees, and at our lavishly appointed studios in downtown Bozeman, it is 34 degrees Fahrenheit.
At 34?
At 12 minutes after the hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that Christmas song, "Oh, the weather outside is frightful."
Yeah,
See, I'm getting ready for, that delightful snow.
You getting ready for it, huh? Well,
not me, you.
Yeah.
Clearly you are. Yeah.
Our poll question of the day: should the whistleblower's identity remain secret or not? Shane, should the whistleblower's identity remain a secret?
Okay, now you gotta read the first two choices because you got them backwards.
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
so
they go in order of the votes.
I understand. So one says yes, and then read after yes.
Yes. Otherwise, no one will come forward.
And no?
No. The public has a right to know.
So it should be yes, the public has a right to know, and no, because no one would come forward.
Well, that's kind of screwy, isn't it?
I had to laugh. I was sitting there. I kept reading it. Which one do I pick? I love you. I love you, Eagle Man. You're the best, man. That was great.
You think so, huh?
Yeah, that's great. Because now you can't get in trouble with the government picking either of the first two.
Well, we'll see about this.
Okay.
Well, right now, okay, that changed the results a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Okay, 50%, yes, the public has a right to know. Other 33%, which says the law says the accused has the right to confront the accuser, and it wasn't a whistleblower, it was a plant. And then no, otherwise no one would come forward is 16%. And undecided 0, and what whistleblower 0. So,
okay.
So now we're back in, now we got it corrected, and I apologize for that, but thanks for pointing it out. Let's see, our poll yesterday, will you try the no-meat Impossible Burger, the burgers that are made from plants rather than made from... meat. Are you awake? Hello?
Yep, I'm just listening.
You're just sitting there with your eyes closed and going,
no, I'm
nodding off or what? All right. 56% said Montana beef forever, no plants. 14% said no, it's a flash in the pan. 10% said no, where's the beef? 8% said yes, I love tasting new things. And 4% said, I have no idea what an Impossible Burger is. And 2% they said they would possibly try it. Some other answers. Why pretend to be a burger? You want a burger? Eat a burger. You want vegan? Eat vegan. Have to see what's in it first. It would be impossible to convince me to eat this.
There you go.
There it is. So that's our poll question of the day. So let's see. And what's going on in this day in history? Well, in 1869, political and spiritual leader Mahatma Gandhi, born in Porbandar, India. What a guy this guy was, huh?
Well, he's definitely a statesman and a peacemaker. I don't know that he ever reached the status as a prophet, but
pretty close.
He did change the largest populated country in the world forever, to some degrees. Certainly from colonialism. Died at 78 by assassination, as most people know.
Yeah,
and his name was Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, and became known as Mahatma, which was Sanskrit for high-souled or venerable in India. He was educated as a lawyer. He was a Hindu, of course, in Western India. Came from mid-educated family. But getting the independence of India from the British, which was an accomplishment, the basic thing, what you mentioned about yesterday, the caste system,
right,
and the class distinction, which has been around for literally thousands of years, has still held it back to this day, and created a bigger problem than they had before when they lived with the Sikhs and the Muslims of a part of their country that they sent them to, and it's just one of those things you watch every day, and you wonder, like you and I say, gosh, if they had the attitude of capitalism from free markets like we do, can't imagine what they may have accomplished, right?
Well, same with China. If China and India had our freedoms, I can't even begin to imagine where we would be today. But
that's right.
Yeah. All right.
And he won over the masses with the Dandi salt march, because they were so many people in India, they couldn't produce salt, so the people had to go to the ocean and dry the
salt out of the water.
Yeah.
All right, we got to talk to our farmers ranchers. Hopefully this will work today. It, for whatever reason, didn't want to work yesterday, but we'll see if it'll work today. So here is your Montana News in Ag. 23 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m. It's Wednesday, October 2nd, 2019. 34 degrees outside. Shane Taubman, half man, half amazing, on the line with me. Tom Eagle, your morning mayor, in the house. And from our app chat line, you can message us from your smartphone, your AM 1450 KMMS app. The app chat is right next to the listen button. And from our app chat line, Ennis has 1 inch of wet snow downtown. Ennis has 1 inch of snow downtown. What do you think, Shane?
That's great.
Yeah,
that's huge.
Yeah. So
I love fall and winter. I mean, I really enjoy them.
Yeah.
I'm reminded of them that they're shorter seasons. I mean, not shorter seasons, but I'm reminded them that their seasons aren't as long. Of course, there's long. What am I'm trying to say? The spring and summer, you'd like it to be longer, and it's not that you want fall or winter to be shorter, but but the fact that their time is the same, it doesn't make it feel bad to pass. And we live in a climate that we're so lucky, because every season is separate. You just tend to have a bit longer winter. I think you guys end up having a winter like for 6 to 9 months, really.
Yeah, it doesn't get warm until near the end of June, and usually, September's usually pretty good, but we got a little nippy the end of September this time around. But
yeah, you're not like guaranteed a 90-day growing season, right?
No, not well. Maybe.
Yeah, I said maybe. Yeah.
It depends on the depends on the year and the fires
and the snow. So 70 to 90 days. But
Yeah.
it seems that because of the access of tilt of the earth,
Mhm.
you have enough sunlight to make up, for the fewer days because you have such a long day. I mean, when in
Yeah.
in the middle of the summer, the sun gets up there around, well, the daylight's around 4 o'clock, right?
In the morning, you mean?
Yeah, it starts getting daylight.
Yeah, a
around.
little bit, and then we're light till 10:30 sometimes. So.
Yeah, at 10:30 at night. So that's a
yeah.
long day.
It is a long day. Yeah. From our text line, 478-8298, Dominic used to call me a liberal and blocked me. I'm a constitutional conservative who didn't fall for a New York liberal con man. Jeff needs to primary Trump. We need someone like Krause in the White House, and he wins the election by a landslide. My prediction: we will learn of more crazy phone calls. Trump will be impeached and removed. Pence becomes president, and the nation heals. Heals from what? Being great?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Elizabeth Warren, from our text line, Elizabeth Warren is howdy doody, freckles and all. Shane, proof that socialism kills capitalism. The largest plastic straw company that's located in Canada is closing down.
Wow, that's too bad.
Yeah. Plant burgers don't have the minerals nor the iodine we need that good quality beef has in it.
I'd agree with that.
I'd agree with that. All right. Let's see. Tried both the Impossible and the Beef Whopper side by side. No doubt that beef wins.
That's right.
Regarding our poll. Fox
Yeah,
News. Trump tweeted congratulations to the president for Live G. What a dotard.
Okay. Now that was that was wrong.
That was wrong.
That was a bad tweet. Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't very very well. I don't know. Congratulations might be a little over the top. You probably need to say something to a world leader that's, I don't know. Just because you disagree with it, but
I would congratulate him personally because they want to have a personal relationship. So no one loses face to do a treaty.
Yeah.
But to acknowledge 70 years of horrific genocide.
Yeah.
And not just that, but it's going on now with they're like at 1.8 million now in Muslims being interned. I mean, it's Nazis all over, and everyone's watching it, and no one's saying anything. That's what I find.
You brought up Bloomberg the other day.
Yeah. And
we were talking about he was saying, no, it's not a dictatorship. That G has a constituency he's answerable to. Well, maybe a bunch of generals, maybe, but I don't know who else he answers to.
He doesn't answer. Well, if you look at the size of him, you look up a rice pot.
Well,
he answers to a rice pot.
Yeah. All right.
But real quick. So they have the big parade. They bring out these big rockets.
Yeah.
And now they say they have these rockets that can reach our continent within 30 minutes. And I'm thinking, who tested those? Oh, it was the Eagle Man, right?
North Korea tested those babies, so we know they work.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back. Stay tuned. A lot more Morning Soapbox to come right after these important words. 25 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Wednesday, October 2nd, 2019, 34 degrees outside. We're looking for a high of 46 today. Partly cloudy. Rain, snow, everything's in the forecast.
This is what you call seasonal weather.
It is seasonal, that's for sure. All right, on this date in 1890, guess what? Comedian Groucho Marx was born in New York. Extra points if you can name the other three brothers.
Harpo. The other three brothers. I can't think of them. Let's see, Groucho, Harpo, and who was the guy that played the piano?
Chico.
Chico, that's it.
Yeah. And the last one was, and I'm spacing myself, actually.
Yeah.
Zeppo. Zeppo was the other one. Zeppo was the other one. All right.
There you go, Zeppo.
See, you got to know those things to do this job.
Well, it's incredible. He's born in 1890.
Yeah.
And he died at 86. Wow, that's a great age.
Mm-hmm.
And but he started at 15 because he came from a poor family.
Yeah.
And went on the road because of the success with him and his three brothers. There are four brothers.
Yeah.
Vaudeville is such a fascinating thing to read about, and there's stuff on YouTube you can watch.
Mm-hmm.
It was live. It's theater.
Right.
It was one of those things that was the lead up, obvious, to movies. But the great opportunity that had arisen for the Marx Brothers in being able to tour your country was the fact that so many cities in the Gilded Age, late 1800s with all the wealth, had opera houses.
Oh yeah, that was the entertainment center of the town. And
then, of course, because of the silent movie industry, they built theaters across the country. So it created a whole different area of entertainment that of course, it died off after television and the movies took off in the 40s and 50s. But it was really great training ground for people, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they did well. He did well in television, radio.
Well, it's just like the comedy clubs of today. Yeah. Not so much singing and dancing, but at least comedians can, go to these various comedy clubs and try out material or see if they've got what it takes to, and sooner or later somebody will see them and, put them on one of the late night shows and, then it kind of takes off from there. But, yeah, it was really a golden age coming up from the 1900s up till, 2000 certainly.
And they made 13 films, but they were sort of like short films, right? They were two reelers,
yeah.
Yeah, two reelers, like 40 minutes or
an hour maybe,
maybe an hour, and so they were like like we've talked before. You go to the Saturday show to see the Marx Brothers, and then the main event, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you'd see that, or you see the Three Stooges, or something like that, and
a Western or something.
Yeah. Well, that's where John Wayne started, and Gene Autry and Roy Rogers and all those guys started making two reelers that were an hour long or an hour and a half, or they were what I want to call them, the episode shows. Every Saturday you'd have to go to the movie to find out how Zorro got out of the cave.
Exactly.
And we usually start out with, after Zorro got out of the cave, why did he get out?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they were the soap operas of their time, right?
They absolutely were the soap operas of their time. So, well, in 1919, President Woodrow Wilson suffered a stroke that left him partially paralyzed.
Well, and this is it's one of those things that's sort of strange. I mean, he follows Taft. And then, of course, Harding takes over for him. But, everyone talks about his wife taking over for the last few months of his term.
Yeah.
But the amazing thing, this is the guy that started the progressive the progressive movement where you are today.
Yeah, he was the true Elizabeth Warren of his day, I would guess.
He did the Revenue Act in 1913 that had to go to the Supreme Court and then have an amendment to your Bill of Rights to tax people, and the estate tax, income tax, Federal Reserve Act, and he created the Federal Reserve itself.
Yep.
The Federal Trade Commission Act, the Antitrust Act that Taft tried to get through, but he finally did. I mean, but still supported segregation in the South because he was a great Democrat. And the Jim Crow laws. And,
yep.
Oh, my God.
He wasn't progressive in every area, was he?
Not for African Americans. Those Democrats, they got to stand up against those Black African Americans. But vote for us.
He was pretty much anti-Semitic, too, wasn't he? He was pretty much a bad guy to anybody that wasn't white.
That's right.
All right, we got to take a quick break here. Hey, if you're looking for a job, First Student is looking for bus drivers for school buses. So stay tuned if you want an early morning job and an afternoon job and have the rest of the day to goof off.
Does it have a heated seat?
I don't know. I guess it depends on whether you're 98.6 or not. So we'll be right back right after these words. Stay tuned. 17 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Wednesday, October 2nd, 2019. 34 degrees outside. Looking for a high of 46 degrees today. Shane and Tobin, half man, half amazing. On the line, Tom Eagle, your morning mayor in the house. And this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And we'll be here till 9 o'clock this morning. And another guy that was pretty hard on the Jewish community was FDR. They were coming over on boats and trying to escape Nazi Germany, and he sent them packing, sent them back back to the ovens and the gas chambers, I guess. So, not all of our presidents were perfect, huh?
No, it's really a harsh reality to deal with.
Thinking of the Japanese, too. FDR in turn, the Japanese took all their property, all their savings, their money, everything, and put them in camps. And, hey, we're down with that.
Well, and the amazing thing, both our governments did it, was with the Japanese that, most of them were on the coast,
sure.
On your West Coast, and us in Vancouver.
And most were citizens, too. They were born here.
It was second and third generation, and they moved them inland, like 500 miles.
Well, they had a camp in Missoula, I believe.
Yeah, and they had They had them in Nevada, like the desert. Like
they put them out in the desert. It was really nice.
Not pretty. I mean, can you imagine Bush doing or Trump doing something like that today? I mean, people would.
Well, anybody doing it today, any president,
Well, the Chinese are in one of their desert provinces, and everybody stands by. It's like, where are all these people that are like,
Why aren't they taken to the streets? Supporting the Muslim population that's over there. Well, in 1944, Nazi troops crushed the 2-month-old Warsaw Uprising, during which 250,000 people were killed.
Yeah, the
Warsaw, Poland. Yeah.
Yeah, there were really 8 sections of the city that they had enfranchised all the Jewish people, basically Polish Jewish people, and interned them within the city. Like they just wired off wired fenced neighborhoods with guards, and it was bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was the Poles call it Operation Tempest. It was part of the because of the August 1st invasion of Poland by Russia, and they thought that this would be of benefit to them. The only person that helped was Churchill. He sent in couple hundred plane loads of low-flying planes and tried to dump food and materials into this part of the city, and lost several planes trying to help these Polish Jews survive the onslaught and genocide. But as we know, it didn't happen. I mean, it didn't turn out well.
On this date, 1950, Peanuts by Charles M. Schulz was first published. Peanuts, the Charlie Brown and Lucy and Snoopy and all the gang.
17,897 strips.
Wow.
That he drew. Like, how amazing is that? From October 2nd, 1950 to February 13th, 2000. Wow, 50
Well, just
years.
coming up with the ideas. What are you going to talk about? That's like us. We got to figure out what to talk about for 3 hours.
Yeah, 2,600 newspapers, 335 million people in 75 countries at that time read, and it was translated into 21 languages. Wow.
Jeez.
And you think about it, because all of it has impact. I mean, all the characters were political in their characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they did.
Well, the pulling the football out was always the American people trying to get ahead, and the government would pull the football out from under you.
There's basically six characters: a bird and a dog.
Yeah.
And they had the African American child.
Yeah.
The required got to have them in there, sort of thing.
Yeah. And they had Pigpen and a bunch of other folks.
Pigpen was like,
yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. Let's go to the phones. 522 Talk is the number. 522-8255. Caller, you on the morning soapbox. What's up?
Good morning, AW here.
Hey, W, how are you?
I'm okay. Good. I'm watching this shenanigans out there in Hong Kong, and I don't know how this thing plays out, but it doesn't look good on any angle. I don't see how this works out well for anybody.
Well, China celebrated their Communist Day yesterday, I guess the 1st. And these attacks or these demonstrations coinciding with that doesn't bode well for China. And I think they may have said, hey, we need to put our foot down over here and, stop this thing.
Well, they finally used live rounds.
Right,
they shot some guy point blank.
Mm-hmm.
But I was watching on Fox, and they had this lady on there that was a survivor of the Tiananmen Square revolt. And,
I saw that. I saw that episode with her. Very interesting.
Yeah, it was. And
did she give any clues how many they killed in Tiananmen Square?
Well, there's estimates. She says it's in the tens of thousands, actually. I mean, it's never reported because they're not going to report it. But I guess there was some English. The Brits had some estimates of in the tens of thousands of people that were actually killed. I mean, they only showed so much on TV, but behind the scenes, lots of people were killed, apparently. But I don't see how this thing plays out. I mean,
it's going to be. It puts G in a precarious position, trying to negotiate with us and. Try to say it's the People's Republic of China or something like that. Doesn't cut it.
It's really hard. I mean, there's over 1,000 U.S. companies represented there.
Yeah,
it's their international banking center. There's 400,000 expatriates from Canada there. Most of them probably Chinese, but and tens of thousands of people from countries all over the world. So he has a terrible situation because of the nature of the effect it would have on his economy, but more importantly, on his generals and their oligarchy of money.
Yeah.
The only way
they want the money.
The only way out of China with money is through Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a real quagmire for Xi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just kill everybody, can you? I mean,
no.
Oh no, because all the banks and everyone would.
Because one thing is you were just mentioning, AJ or AW rather, the Tiananmen Square was controlled. Media was controlled, and Hong Kong is not. So you start executing people there, then the news is going to bring that to you. Film at 11.
Yeah, it's. I mean, if you play this thing out, I don't know. I can't wrap my head around how they play this thing out. I mean, they either kill everybody, like they do, and or you step away, which they'll have egg on their face if they just walk away from it.
Right.
So they're in a weird.
Yeah, they are. They're in an interesting position there, particularly with their anniversary and Xi declaring himself leader for life. So so it's all on him. Whatever he does, I mean, he's the final say. So that's where his dilemma is.
And the big thing is they got $6 trillion in your debt, and there's 28 banks around the world authorized to participate in the weekly selling of American debt, and 6 of them are banks of China. So they're all held by Xi and his buddies.
Right.
And you don't have access to that. You're in a bad situation because you got to settle all your trades and oil and product with American money. So
that's right. Yeah.
Well, they're screaming for America to do something, and like it puts us in a weird position because we can't. What the hell can we do?
Well, with the negotiations going on, that's the same with Saudi Arabia and Iran. Why should we get in there? That seems to be between Saudi Arabia and Iran. This seems to be between Hong Kong and China. But we do have interest there, and we did have interest, obviously, in Saudi Arabia. So, you know, I wish I had a definitive answer for you, but I'm not sure there is one.
If he doesn't control Hong Kong, how does he explain to the people on mainland China? Well, now let's see. We don't have Taiwan and we don't have Hong Kong. What's going on? Why are these Chinese separate from us? Like, why are they not like us?
Yeah, and why don't they have? Why do they have the freedoms we don't have?
That's right.
I gotta go. AW. Thanks for the call.
Yep.
All right. Take care. All right, we got to duck out of here, and we'll be right back with more stuff right after this. 5 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Wednesday, October 2nd, 2019, 34 degrees outside. Welcome back to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And from our text line, 478-8298, why the Impossible Burger. Scientists are now saying red meat is no more harmful to you than the alternatives. Red meat grilled rare forever. And that's from Not Your Sister Tam.
That's right.
And miraculously, I heard this on the news yesterday. Miraculously, for all these years, red meat was supposed to be horrible for you. And all of a sudden, now that the Impossible Burger's coming out, all of a sudden, ta-da! Red meat is off the endangered species list.
and the other qualifier I love too is, and for all these years they said, and you have to eat it cooked well done. You know, now they've determined that your digestive system digests it easier if it's, rare to medium rare.
Oh yeah.
And so they made that distinguish.
So the charcoal doesn't digest as well as the.
Well, you remember Landon from Bonanza, right?
Right.
They said he died from cancer caused by, barbecuing because he barbecued beef every day.
Oh, really?
Right? Like,
yeah. Holy smokes. Wow.
It's like that stupid pyramid they came up with, right?
Yeah, the food pyramid.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
that should be ice cream, then cake, then,
No, but as children, our parents should have told us, look, you need to eat your vegetables.
Yeah.
Because it's the only source of minerals your body gets, because the vegetables, through their roots, and they're growing, absorb minerals, natural minerals out of the ground, which you need, like water.
That's
It's very important to your body.
All right. From our text line, 478-8298, Stable Genius congratulates China for 70 years of murderous dictatorship. All right. We're happy about that. Yeah, okay. New study, smoking is good for your health. All right. We're ready for that one, I guess.
And then some congressman, one of the, the squad of four came out with a comment a week ago or something to the effect that secondhand smoke, is worse than smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, some people say that. I don't know. There's people that claim to have gotten cancer from secondhand smoke at the workplace or wherever, but I don't know. I guess it depends on your metabolism and your body type and all that stuff. So
your DNA, baby.
Your DNA. All right. Well, let's see. 1959 on this date, Twilight Zone debuted on CBS. Hey, Rod Serling. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's right.
And in 19
and go ahead.
In 19
I was just going to say it was the only TV show in American history that had 5 runs, separate runs, redos, right?
Oh yeah.
It started out as Tales of Tomorrow, science fiction theater, The Weird Circle, Dimension 10, X-1, and then of course Twilight Zone. But it's right up to December 17th. It's just one of those revival concepts that people always found interest in.
Yeah. All right, 1985, actor Rock Hudson died at the age of 59 after a battle with AIDS.
That's right. Well kept secret in Hollywood, remember?
It was, yeah. So, oh, let's see. Well, we got to take a break here. We got kind of a long text message, but we'll get back to that after the news at the top of the hour. Open lines all day today, so anything you want to weigh in on, by all means, we'd love to hear from you. So come on in. 522-TALK, 522-TALK, 522-8255. And coming up at the 7 o'clock hour, I have something very important to talk to right-wing radio listeners about. Left-wing radio listeners, too. So, very, extremely important. So stay tuned for that. We'll be right back right after this. Thank you, Dan. Welcome back, everyone. 4 minutes after the hour. It's Wednesday, October 2nd, 2019. Temperature's 34 degrees outside, and we're happy to be here with you. And from our text line, got a couple texts we get out of the way, and then I'm going to talk about something important to us all. If the DOJ wasn't so corrupt, President Trump wouldn't have to investigate Biden on his own. They won't look into anything Democrat. And let's see. Well, you'll like this one, Shane.
Okay.
You'll enjoy this. Privately, the president had often talked about fortifying a border wall with a water-filled trench stocked with snakes and alligators, prompting aides to seek a cost estimate. He wanted the wall electrified with spikes on top that could pierce human flesh after publicly suggesting that soldiers shoot immigrants if they threw rocks. The president backed off when his staff told him that was illegal. But later in a meeting, aides recalled he suggested that they shoot immigrants in the legs to slow them down. That's not allowed either, they told him. So you can take that for whatever it's worth, I guess. So,
well, one of these things that's so fascinating about this is that instead of educating people about how a president can act, he seeks the knowledge of the people around him that run the executive branch for him. Yeah. He doesn't know all the laws. He doesn't know all the regulations. And so it's not an unreasonable thing to consider different options to look at a solution to a problem. But the problem with your media is that they take this effort to solve problems by the executive branch as if they're terrible, terrible things. And, thank goodness you have your judicial system to protect those people, which is great. But at the other side of it, it's another leak. Like, what's going on? I mean, they don't need a sprinkler system from the front lawn. Yeah. They should just fill the Oval Office full of water, and it would sprinkle the entire yard.
Yeah, there you are. Well, I do think shooting people is a little drastic, but what can I tell you?
That's right.
All right. Well, I do have something very important that I wanted to talk to you about, and that is AM 1450 KMMS in Bozeman. We appreciate you guys out there so much listening to us, and we have a chance to show the power of talk radio finally for a change. Many of you know that every year Bozeman Magazine does a reader poll. They do a reader poll, and we are in several categories, and we would like the people that listen to us to go over to BozemanMagazine.com and go to the Reader's Choice. I believe it's at the top of the page. It's Bozeman's Choice, actually, but go up to Bozeman's Choice and vote, and I'll give you the categories we are in. Bozeman's Choice favorite local celebrity is me, not Shane, because he's not local.
Well, I'm local in the head.
Right. The station is also in Bozeman's Choice for the local news source. Bozeman's Choice local radio DJ, that would be Tom and Shane. Local radio show would be the KMMS Morning Soapbox. The radio station, of course, would be AM 1450 KMMS in Bozeman. And the most luscious local radio voice would be me, of course.
Of course, yes.
So we need you to go over and vote in all of those polls, because all of these other stations that just play music and they've got somebody that just, every once in a while gives you a little blurb of something. I mean, we work pretty hard here, I believe, and I think it's time we got the recognition that talk radio deserves in this community, because now next door to us, Dave and Allie are consistent winners of all these categories. And they work really hard at it. They really do. I'm right next door to them, and I see what they do off hours, and I see all the things they do, and I'm not belittling them in any way. But I think it's time that the people who support talk radio stood up and grew a spine and go over to Bozeman Magazine and say, hey, I'm proud that I'm a listener of talk radio. I'm not a kook. I'm not a left or right wing wacko. I'm somebody I'm a listener who wants to be informed, and I like this station. And I want to vote for Tom and Shane, want to vote for AM 1450 KMMS, and also for my luscious voice. So, right. So.
Although I have to say, we do have a few women callers that have very nice, luscious voices.
Well, they do. But they're, fortunately, I can't, they're not on the list. So
I know that.
So anyway, go to BozemanMagazine.com and look for the Bozeman's Choice on the black bar up there. Click on that, and please support us, vote for us, and in the various categories that we're in there, and that would be under media and info. There's several categories. They got restaurants. They've got all sorts of businesses and things like that. Shane and I are under media and info, and so we are.
Do they have an award dinner, or they got trophies or a plaque?
They've got trophies, they've got plaques, they've got all this stuff. So we definitely
we should take a certificate of merits. Right?
Well, we should get something. I mean, come on. I mean, we I think we have a loyal and dedicated listenership here, and we really appreciate the folks that support us here. And this is one more thing I can point to the bean counters at Town Square Media if we're in the popularity contest there, and if we do well, then they can't deny that the listenership out there, or Bozeman Magazine readers, don't appreciate us. So if you're not a Bozeman Magazine reader, now's your chance. BozemanMagazine.com. You don't have to buy the magazine. You don't have to do anything other than go over and vote for us. So do it.
Yeah.
So again, we're in Bozeman's Choice Favorite Celebrity. We're in Bozeman Choice Local News Source. We're in Bozeman Choice Local Radio DJs. And we're in Bozeman Choice Local Radio Show and local radio station, and also the most luscious local radio voice. So there you are. Yeah. So get over and do it. Let's show them the power of talk radio in Montana, and at least here in Bozeman, Belgrade, Livingston, and around the area. So.
Well, props to you, Eagle Man, for that public service announcement. Right. And on with the show. On with the show.
Tried to vote on polls, and they said winner chosen. Well, I think it ends November 7th is when it's supposed to. So, sorry. Try again. Go over to Bozeman. Maybe you are looking at last year's poll. That could be possible, because we are now in 2019, so by all means, try it again, because I went over yesterday and voted for us in all categories, and I know Shane's going to do that, of course. So we'll have at least 2 votes. So went to Bozeman Magazine and no place to vote, just lists winners. Well, let me look real quick, because if go to Bozeman, BOZEMAN Magazine. And if you go to, BozemanMagazine.com. Let me get rid of that.
Yeah, and we're at 240 shows, so we're really rocking, buddy.
Yeah. Nope, just go to BOZEMANMagazine.com and you'll see the Bozeman Magazine logo. You'll see an events calendar, articles, food and drink, and Bozeman's Choice. You click on Bozeman's Choice and scroll down the page. It says voting ends November 7th, 11:59 p.m. Vote now. And it does have past polls down there. It's got Bozeman's Choice 2019. So if you're going over to that, it will. I think it will probably say winners chosen or whatever. So, favorite celebrity winner was Missy O'Malley last time around for the favorite celebrity. So, but just go to the black bar on top. Go to Bozeman's Choice. And it should say Bozeman's Choice 2020. Our readers put their stamp of approval on all things Bozeman. Voting ends November 7th, 11:59 p.m. Vote now. So that should be it. Or you could put in BozemanMagazine.com/best-of, and that'll take you over there as well. So please go vote for us because we feel bad. We feel, we feel like the kid with his face pressed up against the candy store window. We don't get any respect. No.
or free candy.
Yeah, or they think, oh, they're just a talk station. Who cares? Let's listen to some, some Willie Nelson or something. So, by all means, get over there and check it out. So we appreciate it very much if you would. We like to get at least some votes.
Yeah, that's right.
Or somewhere. All right. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after these important words. So stay tuned. 17 minutes after the hour of 7 a.m. It's Wednesday, October 2nd, 2019. 35 degrees outside. Looking for a high of 46 degrees today. And this is the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Thanks for listening to us. And in local news, Montana State gave a big thank you to Governor Bullock for support of the Romney Hall renovation. $25 million, Shane, they got for that. For the finally, after I don't know how many tries to get that done, they finally got her done. So kudos to our governor for backing Romney Hall, and $25 million renovation will begin. If I can say it, it'll probably begin before I can correctly pronounce renovation. But let's take a phone call while I collect my language problems. And 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox. Well, what's up?
What? Oh, I don't know, Thomas.
Okay. Well, I don't know either. You're early this morning.
Yeah, do you collect your 50 grand, Pete?
You're every. No, but I'm not.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. But
did you go collect your 50 grand, Pete?
No, they said they already gave it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Trump got it.
Yeah.
Trump got it.
He knows who it is.
But you guys were talking about the different groups and stuff, the internment camps in this country and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And all the you got all kinds of groups that are abused out there, but except the number one group, you don't hear much for them, and that's children. I mean, it's not the Muslims, the Jews, or the Christians. It's kids that are probably the most abused on the planet. You go through what's going on in this country now, it's enough to make you sick. You have late-term abortions, this transgender crap, child trafficking, the Boy Scouts with 250,000 sexual assaults. Now they're terrorizing them with global warming and the end of the world. And child porn seems to be all the rage. And with the other thing, and I'm just looking at an article here yesterday. It says this is the FDA. Since 2014, gender-bending pharmaceuticals have killed at least 6,370 patients. I'm assuming a lot of these are young people, and seriously harmed tens of thousands of others. Because you're not going to hear about that at all.
Mm-hmm. Or the 400,000 people that have died from opioid overdoses. Hey, that's more people than you lost in World War II.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very strange.
100 times more people that were killed with guns. 100 times, over 100 times more.
I know. Yeah, it's a terrible disease. Yeah.
People ought to, think about this. Heaven has a wall. Heaven has a gate. And heaven practices extreme vetting. When you're thinking about doing harm to a child, God's creation, maybe you ought to think a little longer about it.
Yeah, Shane and I are off that list, I think.
Yeah. Was that thinking longer?
I don't even think winning the Bozeman magazine poll will help us get in there.
Well, if you look into this, and you don't believe, in good and evil or God and the devil,
yep,
it'll make a believer out of you. I'll tell you that. Because,
well, if you accept and believe, and you have faith in that, then you're told you're forgiven. So there you go.
Okay.
Well, I guess works for me.
We'll wait and see.
Yeah, well, I don't.
I don't know. Do you have to swear on a Bible when you get up there? That.
Oh no, they'll have a book that's just you.
Oh, okay. Oh, the book of me. Yeah, that's gonna be a big volume.
Not the book of Eli, the book of Tom and Shane.
Oh, ouch.
So you guys will probably be okay.
You think we'll be okay? All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Be okay.
Right.
Well, I haven't said the 8 words we're not supposed to say, so maybe I'm okay there.
You're okay.
Well, they're not just going to judge you on your radio performance.
Oh, well, and I'm in big trouble then, probably. Oh, man.
There'll be all kinds of things in there.
All I know is if you have the faith and you believe, been there, done that, there's no gate. Hate to disappoint all those people out there, but no, you just you find yourself there.
Yeah.
Well, there ain't no gate, huh? Well, how are you going to know where the hell you're at?
Yeah.
Gate.
What? All I've heard about since I was a baby was the pearly gates. Shane, come on.
That's right.
You meet St. Peter at the pearly gates, and they let you in or they don't.
Yeah, the exit or the entrance will open.
That's right.
One or the other.
Yeah. Don't call us, we'll call you.
That's right. Yeah. But yeah, it's amazing. Everybody whines and moans, and they don't ever they're not talked about that much, and the numbers are horrendous.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and it's everywhere. It's not just here or England or anywhere else. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's a global issue. You're right.
It is definitely a global issue. And that's, even if you look at, you guys were talking about the people in World War II there earlier. How many of those dead people do you suppose were kids? Thousands.
Oh, yeah. Well, before the Geneva Convention, you could carpet bomb cities, and there had to be
exactly
thousands of kids in there somewhere. So
they killed chivalry right there. Back in the day, the armies went out to a battlefield and duked it out. Not anymore.
Nope. Now it's overpowering force.
Yeah, the military's response to it was collateral damage.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow,
that's sad.
That's a fancy word for murder.
Yeah, of course it is.
That's the way I look at that one.
Yeah, that's what Shane and I are.
Collateral damage.
Yeah.
Collateral damage.
Yeah, we're the survivors who are left standing after everyone else goes.
Well, maybe not. You have to wait to see if the poll comes out. Maybe
well, that's true. Yeah, we may not. Yeah, we may. It may not work. So, well, I know you're going to go over there and vote for us, Pete. So get over there and get it done.
All right, I'll do her.
All right, man. Appreciate
Have a
it.
good one.
All right, thanks for the call. All right. Yeah, that's a good deal there. So, well, other things that are going on around the country, Shane, we got pipeline rules that have been adopted. U.S. transportation officials on Tuesday adopted long-delayed measures that are meant to prevent pipeline spills and deadly gas explosions, but don't address recommended steps to lessen accidents once they occur. So,
and who really believes that? I mean, come on,
well,
with all the regulations and everything, like, give me a break here.
Well, when you make up regulations, you're doing your job. You get paid, you go home, you feel good about yourself that you did something good for society, and so what? Who cares? Just another regulation that's going to raise the cost of whatever it is that you regulated.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you keep your job because you come up with new ideas.
Well, that's true. You got to keep coming up with new regulations. Otherwise, why are you here? Why are you taking up space? I mean, that's almost like being on a Ukraine oil and gas board for $50,000 a month. I mean, what do you do there? Just get a check, I guess. So, I don't know. We're in the wrong business, Shane. If you can be on the board of directors from some Ukraine company and get $50,000 a month, I don't know.
Well, again, the thing that amazes me is that the Clintons did it, Biden's did.
Yeah.
Where are the Obamas in all this? I mean, what, book sales? I don't get it. Like, seriously.
Well, they do have some book sales, but I don't know. Well, they got monstrous advances for their books. So
that's right.
Whether they sold any or not, they still made big bucks. So anyway.
65 mil, baby.
That's right. Well, let's take some more phone calls. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you're not on because, well, you went away, I guess. So.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, it's just as well because we're coming up on the bottom of the hour. We wouldn't have had a lot of time for you anyway. But, the Keystone Pipeline would be the other thing that maybe this could have some effect on. And not sure where that is right now, Shane. Do you have any idea where the Keystone Pipeline is? I know Trump approved it, but nothing seems to be happening very much, are they?
It's still stuck in the courts in Iowa. No, not Iowa.
Nebraska, probably Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nebraska, yeah.
Yeah, they got that aquifer down there. They don't want it to go across, or they want to undo the route or something like that. Well, I don't know why they just can't put this spur in and be done with it. I mean, come on. Who needs water?
I don't know.
With a little oil in it, it'll go down easier. Come on.
Yeah,
slide down. It slides. That's the beauty of red meat. It slides down easy. It's got that grease and that fat coating there to help you out.
Well, it's just incredible. I think 7 months ago, the center of your continent was under 4 feet of water.
Well, yeah,
remember?
Yeah, I know.
Rain,
and
it was crazy.
Now we're wondering about soybeans and stuff like that. So, yeah. Well, in other local news, we've got two Bozeman Democrats are going to run for the U.S. Senate against Steve Daines. Cora Newman, 44, launched her campaign Tuesday, saying she will focus on affordable, high-quality health care, increasing wages, and protecting public lands. Michael Knowles, 32, has filed with the Federal Election Commission, but said he is searching for a campaign manager and plans to launch his campaign in about a month. So
there you go.
So we'll see how those two do, and I guess we'll they will either make it or they won't. So
that's right, a primary challenge. That's it. Democracy, baby. Yeah.
It is democracy at its highest level.
That's right.
All right, we got to go. Gene, I don't know if we got, we got a caller calling in. So if you could talk to those folks, we'll be back with more stuff right after this. 25 minutes for the top of the hour. It is Wednesday. It's October 2nd. It's 2019, 35 degrees outside. Looking for a high of 46 degrees today. Shane Matobin On the line with me from Vancouver, British Columbia, Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor in the house, and this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with the aforementioned Tom and Shane. Want to encourage everybody to go to BOZEMAN'S and vote for us under the media categories of DJs, best show, station, all of that. Go to BOZEMAN'S and look for the Bozeman's Choice on the black bar. Click on that. And voting ends November 7th, I believe. So we've got some time. So let's show the power of talk radio and get over to BOZEMAN'S and vote for Tom and Shane in the various categories that are over there. And check it out. And we will be there. And we would like to beat up on these other ne'er-do-wells that just, introduce a couple of songs, and then you get 45 minutes of music, and then they say a couple other things, and, somehow they're personalities, and I'm sorry.
And their news is in a can.
That's it. Their news is in the can, so what can I tell you? Well, First Lady Melania Trump will be visiting Wyoming this week. Trump will fly into Jackson Hole for a 2-day visit, and she'll be visiting the Grand Teton and Yellowstone National Park. So she is promoting her anti-bullying and Be Best campaign. So according to an itinerary provided by the White House, she'll be joined by Secretary of the Interior David Bernhardt. The trip will also feature visits with dozens of local fourth graders, as well as a stop with a Jackson area Boy Scout troop in the Jackson Hole Town Square. So if you want to meet the First Lady, head down to Yellowstone and
stand in line
and check it out. Yeah, stand in line. Let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox. Well, what's up? Last chance.
Nope, they hung up.
All right. Not there.
No.
All right, try it again. Well, Bozeman's school lunch program, they're making a profit, Shane.
Well, I sure think. I mean,
for a while they were kind of worried about that because there were people that weren't paying, and a lot of the kids were dumping the stuff because they didn't like Brussels sprouts and turnips and all the good stuff. They weren't giving them steaks or anything like that, but
hamburgers and French fries. Yeah.
Well, anyway, the lunch program sold more lunches last year and made a profit, but still found it hard to get kids who like pancakes and cookies to eat healthier meals. Well, I guess so. Things are going well, Mike Warren said. He's the school business services director. Total number of lunches sold to elementary students increased by about 18,000 meals, or 8% over the year before. And that more than offset a drop in the meals sold at the high school and middle school. So in all, the program sold 325,600 lunches last year. Wow.
A lot of food there, bud.
Yeah, the lunch program made a profit of more than $158,000, its biggest in 7 years. Revenue rose to $1.9 million, the highest in 6 years. And the profits of the last 2 years will help replenish the program's reserves after 4 years of losing money.
Well, there you are.
Well, we went off the federal program, I believe, last year or the year before. I can't remember which it was, and we started doing our own here locally. So that's kind of where we ended up there. So. But let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Call you in the Morning Soapbox. What's up?
This is Clint.
Clint, you're going to vote for us, right?
Good morning, good sir.
Well, I'd vote for you 100 times if I could. Like the Democrats, scrounge up a bunch of them foreigners and, help vote.
Well, you got to get all those guys down there at the country corner kitchen or whatever that place is. Get them on board too.
Well, sometimes there's 2 of us there. Sometimes there's a dozen of us.
Well, pick a day when there's a dozen and get them over there and vote. Just take your laptop down there and they can all vote right there.
Okay, I'll do that. I want to know how you guys are doing yourself.
Well, we're doing all right. We're still here. 11 months and counting.
I got to tell you something here that I don't like. I've talked to a lot of people. I go to Walmart. I go all over hell. I go to lumber companies, and I talk to people. I have never in my 84 years of living ever seen a nation so divided.
Me either.
And I have never seen a Democratic Party or a Republican Party go after each other like this is happening here. And the rest of the things that we need to do are going by the wayside. So what I'm saying here is all hell is going to break loose if they try to actually impeach Trump and kick him out of office. If that happens, God help us.
Well, I think that's not going to be a good thing for the country, whether the guy is guilty or not guilty. And one of the problems is that even though the impeachment is pretty well defined, the House can pretty much do whatever they want to do.
I know that. Well, the thing is, like I said yesterday, if I was the president of this country, and I was my Congress issued $100 and some billion to Ukraine, and I had a vice president and the son in the Ukraine, okay, and a son taking $50,000 a year,
month.
Now, or a month, a month for a wage. Okay, now I just give him $1.5 billion, where I'm going to.
Mm-hmm.
Where's that money going? Is part of that money going to the son of Joe Biden?
All of it.
Okay. Now, I think the president, if I think I have every right to look after the American taxpayers' money. Okay? If we're going to subsidize a country, I want to know who is getting the money and what for, and I want an accounting of it. Nobody ever mentions an accounting of this money.
Mm-hmm. Well, it went to the $1.5 billion from China went to his hedge fund, so it's not really his money, but
No. The money from the board seat went directly to they've got all the bank deposit slips.
Well, I'm talking about China. The $1.5 billion. The $1.5 billion from China went to his hedge fund, not him.
Yeah.
BHR Partners. Yeah.
Well, I've never ever seen in my years of living here in this world, I've never seen a so corrupt of government. Some of the officials were resigning. We had one senator, I don't know where the hell he was from, that had to resign because of corruption.
Yesterday was a congressman from upstate New York for insider trading.
Yeah, and it's just terrible what's happening to us. And the biggest culprit of all of it is money. Money's the root of all evil, and it really is. And I don't know what's going to happen for sure, but from what I've talked to people are mad, boy. Don't think for 1 minute these folks out here in Montana aren't mad about this. They're mad about what they're trying to do with the Second Amendment. Okay, they're mad about transgender, like Pete was talking about. They're mad about all of this. I mean, it's just we're in a place in time. I don't really know what's going to happen, but it isn't going to be good. They say that the nation will heal if he's impeached. It will, like hell, and heal. It'll come apart. That's what's going to happen. And it scares the hell out of me. I don't know what you guys think, but I really feel that I'm afraid for this country. I've never felt that way in my whole life, but I feel that way now, and I've never felt that way before. I've always been a peaceable man, and I want peace. But when I have congressmen so filthy and so corrupt, like some of these congressmen are, and what in the hell is Joe Biden and his son doing in Ukraine to start with?
Well, Obama appointed Biden in charge of two countries to review for him, and one was China, and the other was Ukraine. So those are the two countries Biden, as vice president, was supposed to watch, take care, and review, funding and what they were doing. His trip with his son to China was to discuss these issues, of property theft and everything that the Chinese were doing at the time, and the jobs they were extracting from the U.S. and the industry they were grabbing from the U.S. and building plants for. Yeah. But that was his job.
Well, I think that the president, Mr. Trump, has every right to question the prime minister or the president of the Ukraine. I think he has every right to question where our money went, whether it be Joe Biden or Joe Blow. I think he has a right to know where the taxpayers' money goes. That's what we hired him for. That's what we voted him for, was to look out for our nation.
That's right. But here's the biggest problem that you have. Everyone talks about your Constitution and your Bill of Rights and all these things are set up in it. Well, the job of the vice president specifically set out in your Constitution. He's the president of the Senate. Mm-hmm. He is supposed to sit in the Senate as president of the Senate and oversee the daily operations of the Senate and involve himself as president in the ongoing, gathering of the Senate.
Sure.
No vice president has ever done his job. So, unfortunately, it's a very sad thing that nobody in your media talks about. That there isn't a single vice president.
That's right. They don't.
Yeah. Unless there's a tie, and of course, there's vote needed to break a tie.
Well, it's like you talked about our Bill of Rights. Our Bill of Rights are going by the wayside. The freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, the 10th Amendment, we don't even have a say anymore. I mean, and the 4th Amendment, look what's happened with that, with our right of privacy. Edward Snowden, in his book, I've been reading his book right now, he spelled it all out, who was involved, the whole damn thing. It's a permanent record is the name of that book, and I think everybody should read it. It tells about his childhood. It tells about what the NSA does. It tells about the CIA, and it's all fact. It ain't fiction. And
it's all public. You're pretty much a transparent government. Gotta go though, Clint. Time to talk to the advertisers.
Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to vote for you guys.
Well, good.
And I hope you keep it up good. And I hope Scott in there, I hope he's listening this morning. Scott, you better keep these guys on or else.
Well,
you won't get any more.
God bless, Clint. You're the best. Thank you, buddy.
Well, thank you. And anyway, take care out there in Vancouver, Shane, and you too, Tom.
I will, buddy.
All right, we'll do. Thanks.
Okay,
thanks, Clint. All right,
bye-bye.
All right, we'll be right back in 2.5 minutes. 9 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Wednesday, October 2nd, 36 degrees. 36 degrees outside. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm talking over you.
That's okay. No problem. I was just saying 19 years into a new century, it's like, we're in the 10th month of this year. It's like, wow, just.
I know, yeah.
Bam, it just goes, You're just amazed by it.
Yeah, starting our 11th month on the air.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, it was the 6th, right, of November, wasn't it?
No, it was the 26th.
26th of November.
Yeah, 20. No, it was the 27th, I think. It was the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, so whatever day that was. Yeah, that's where we were. So let's take some phone calls. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you on the air. What's up?
Oh, another perspective. Daniel R. Peterson.
What's going on, Daniel?
Well, it's what we're getting from the warlike nature of this nation. You probably heard this litany of we've gone through the war on cancer, the war on dirt, the war on poverty.
Yep.
How about looking at our law systems? It said instead of getting justice for all, laws become so complex and convoluted, only the rich and the big guns of expensive lawyers can win anything.
That's for sure. I'd argue if I could.
Become a way to battle each other, take revenge on each other without shedding blood. So Charity that likes to talk about the Bible, there are a couple of Bible passages that say, try to settle out of court. It's a way of consciousness. It's man's way of putting these laws into position. And here's one more insight. If you get a good lawyer, he can figure out all these dangling contradictory things that are going on. He could tie the hands of the judge, just as the judge can say he knows best to the jurors. The lawyers can find so many rules and regulations that the judges are standing there without a way to go.
Well, I'd agree with you on almost everything you've said. We're given a public defender sometimes, and sometimes that person is not up to speed necessarily, or really, they don't have skin in the game to see a positive outcome for their client. However, the Miranda decision was brought up by a public defender, so that was, where justice was probably done. The most obvious important case, the rights we have before we go to court.
Yeah, well, you're supposed to be educating us. What is the Miranda decision?
Mm-hmm. Well, the Miranda decision is the one that the cops have to say you have the right to remain silent, you have the right to an attorney. If you give it the right to remain silent, whatever you say will, can and will be used against you in a court of law. Those have to be recited to you before you talk to a policeman, and they ask you, with these rights in mind, do you still want to talk to me? Mm-hmm. And you could say, no, I want a lawyer, and from that point on, they can't question you any longer.
And the other big decision of that court was a warrant. You have to be served a warrant to be searched.
Yeah.
They have to have probable cause to search you.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's the thing I want to put in place, direct democracy. If you don't have the people educating themselves at all these details, you're going to have somebody driving the car with one finger instead of two hands. So we really shouldn't be battering ourselves with this rock music. We can listen to these stations and learn something about how the subtleties of a democracy work.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because you know how cheap video cameras are now. We all know that. So why doesn't the government require a video camera in the car on the driver at all times, so they can see what the driver's been doing and how he's driving, and when an accident occurs, what he's doing or was doing prior to the accident?
Well, that's a violation of the Fourth and Fifth Amendment.
Of course it is. I know, but
you're right.
I'm just saying to Daniel.
Your right to privacy.
Well, but that was yesterday, and today is today.
That's right.
That's one of my mottos. There was an interesting case where a guy took a video camera of a cop shooting a guy in the back.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And he said, I'm kind of afraid of releasing this to anybody. They might get mad at me. And he thought about it for a day before he brought it in. So you have to have some courage to...
That's true. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Courage to stand on your own 2 feet, on your hind feet, as they say, and express your direct democracy too. That's another component. There are several components. The politicians seem to have too much courage because it takes a lot of courage to stand up and take all this criticism and blame. It takes a certain kind of person to climb and claw to the top. I wanted to talk to, are you going to have Jid Forte on, because it seems that he was a clean soul that got into the fray up there, and then suddenly dropped out and came back to Montana and he didn't bring the message of cleanliness to Washington, D.C. anymore.
Yeah. More likely we will have him back on. All the candidates for all offices are welcome here. We will talk to anybody that wants to have time on the air. We'll be happy to provide it for them. So I'm hoping that Greg will come back as as the primaries get closer and where the time to make a decision comes. So.
Yeah, well, he's the type. Yeah, he's the type that'll come out and open up his heart to us. Some of the others are more held back or have ways. One of the politicians I know, you'd ask him a question, he'd spend 15 minutes answering it, so nobody else could ask him anything else.
That's true. That was President Obama's specialty. He would give a 45-minute answer to a 15-second question.
Yeah, well, the one I'm thinking of was Jim Moody, but you
well, that too. Yeah, Moody was another one. Yeah.
So, oh, you really know who that is?
I know who that is.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, thanks for the call. I got to go.
What an educated guy.
Well, I try. I don't know everything, but some things I do know. So thanks, Daniel.
Right, thank you.
I got to go. All right. All right, that wraps it up for this hour. We come back. We got some more local things we need to talk about. And also, we've got 5 things you need to know, Shane. So I don't remember the last time we did 5 things you need to know. We just never seem to get around to them. But we've got them. If you need to know them, we'll bring you those right after the news at the top of the hour. This is News Radio AM 1450 KMMS in Bozeman, 1340 KPRK in Livingston, and KMMS, at KMMSAM.com at fine computers everywhere. Don't forget, BozemanMagazine.com. Vote for us under the media section. We're there for DJ, the show, and the station, and news, and all of that. So get over to BozemanMagazine.com and make your voice heard. Thank you, Dan. Welcome back, everyone. 6 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock. It's Wednesday, October 2nd, 2019, 34 degrees outside. Looking for a high of 46 degrees today, Shane. And we just had a blurb on the Fox News about the moat with snakes and alligators and shooting the immigrants and, shooting the illegal aliens.
Right.
Right. You really believe they're sitting around the Oval Office talking about shooting immigrants?
It's just too amazing. I really believe that these people in the New York Times and the Washington Post sit around and think up stories. Clearly that's what they do. And even if it was a conversation of I could see having that conversation.
I could see having that conversation. You could say, okay, well, if we can't get the wall, what are the alternatives? And people are saying, well, hey, why don't we put a moat in with snakes and alligators? Let's shoot them.
I'll tell you what they should plant along your border down there. Blackberry bushes. Have you ever dealt with blackberry bushes?
I like that. That's a good idea.
No, but have you ever dealt with them? I mean, they grow from either end.
Yeah.
They grow like a tree. They grow fast. They grow tall.
Yeah.
They got thorns on them the size of a razor blade.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, anyway.
You're ready for that, huh?
Well, yesterday I was actually cleaning the garden out of our, summer and spring blackberry bushes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I said to my nephew, they should plant this stuff at the border.
Well, like I say, the only thing better would be blackberry bushes with snakes and alligators in them.
Yeah, in a pit.
That would work. In a pit. Problem solved. You don't have to shoot anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I could see tongue in cheek. I'm pretty sure. I would like to hope that the president knows you can't just shoot people at the border.
Here we go again. Not my circus, not my monkey. Right?
That's right. Yeah. Well, let's take some calls and see if people do believe that you can shoot illegals at the border.
If you're going to do it on the other side of the border, so Mexico has to take care of them.
That's it. Yeah. Well, that's the whole point. You shoot them over there, and we're not on the hook for the health care.
Yeah, exactly. This is crazy. crazy.
Let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey.
This is Jerry. How are you?
Hi, Jerry.
Good morning, Jerry.
Nice to talk to you, fellas. I'd like to make mention of something that Daniel R. Peterson mentioned.
Okay.
If I might. When he was speaking about the courts, people dragging into the courts, and he mentioned the Bible as a passage in it. That was written by Paul to the Corinthians, and it was about believers dragging other believers into court in front of a unbelieving judge. That's why it was his message was that believers should settle things out of those kind of court situations amongst themselves, so that they're not, going in front of an unbelieving judge.
Right. Yeah.
Which is true. People who are members of a church should not drag each other into a court situation like that. It just embarrasses the church, and it just embarrasses the people involved. Mm-hmm. So I just thought I'd make.
We're having the God Squad in tomorrow. That might be an interesting question for them. What they feel about settling
civil issues.
Yeah. Well, I realize there are times when you get into a dispute with your neighbor next door and you can't come to a compromise, and court seems to be the only way to do it.
Right.
You let an impartial person make the decision. Supposedly the judges are supposed to be impartial, but sometimes we, as we realize,
unless
they
know that unless they know your neighbor and play bridge with him every Tuesday night.
Well, that could be too, but yeah.
Well, the passage reads, brother goes to law with brother, and that before an unbeliever. Mm-hmm. So there's a fall, he's saying, because you go to law with one another.
Right, yeah.
So, settle those, the believers should settle those things within the body of the church if there's a dispute. And if they have to go to court, I guess they have to go to court, but it's best to do it outside.
Well, I would think people who are members of the same congregation would probably be smart to do it that way, to maybe sit down with a priest or pastor or a rabbi or whoever it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
an intervention.
Yeah, and explain their two sides, and bring witnesses, I guess, if necessary, from the parishioners, and settle the score. I think our courts would be a lot cleaner if more people followed that passage in the Bible.
I would also make mention and to remind Daniel R. that we are not a democracy. We are a representative republic. A democracy to me is mob rule, and that's the difference between the two, in my opinion. Oh, by the way, since you fellas are celebrities, how about a Tom and Shane calendar?
A Tom and Shane calendar, we need that. And Speedos, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not these chicken legs.
Lifting weights, and we'll be at the beach. I don't know.
Okay, all the listeners, get out there and vote for Tom and Shane.
That's right. Yeah. Go to BozemanMagazine.com. Look for Bozeman's Choice and Media. And vote for Tom and Shane. We're in various categories there, so vote for us, please.
Yeah, we can't have these music disc jockeys.
We can't. I mean, come on. Dominic, rest his soul, used to say a blind monkey could be a radio, a music DJ. Come on. No offense to Dave and Allie next door, of course. But,
all right, guys. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Thanks for listening. All right. Thanks for voting for us too. Yeah.
We sort of need to remember that music is the language of the universe.
Well, it can be, but I'm not sure kicking grandma through the goalposts of life is a life lesson, or grandma got run over by a reindeer is is something that I want to think of before I go to bed every night, But you might be true, Shane. You might be right. Oh, let's see. What else is going on? Well, we've got we've got a genius in Livingston. Well, I guess he's not in Livingston. I don't want to paint Livingston with a bad brush here, but the guy is from he's Paradise Valley, so I guess I don't know if that counts or not as Livingston, but anyway,
okay.
Guy's got alleged 7 DUIs, driving without insurance. He's charged again. I don't know. Aren't they supposed to put you in jail after 2 or 3 of these offenses?
I thought they took your car and driver's license away.
Well, I would think so for a while, but anyway, he allegedly has 7 prior DUI or DWI convictions, driving without insurance or driving under the influence, obviously. Is charged with a felony count of driving under the influence of alcohol after police say he crashed a motorcycle.
Oh, my God.
August 29th, dear immigrant. Now, you've got to be a true genius to try to ride a motorcycle drunk. I mean, jeez. Well, anyway,
wow.
Daniel Lampier appeared in Montana's 6th Judicial District Court in Livingston Monday for an arraignment on a felony charge of driving under the influence of alcohol, 4th or subsequent offense, and a misdemeanor count of not having a motorcycle endorsement. So,
wow.
He pleaded not guilty to the charges during his arraignment from his wheelchair.
Oh, jeez.
No, it doesn't say he was in a wheelchair.
Okay.
So anyway, but he was represented by an attorney, Daniel R., just so you know. And in the early morning hours of August 29th, law enforcement responded to the area of mile marker 29 on U.S. Highway 89 south of Immigrant for a report of an injury motorcycle crash. Defendant lost control of his motorcycle as he turned left into his driveway.
Oh, jeez.
Made it home and couldn't get in the driveway. All right, you got to love this. You can't make this stuff up. He tipping it over onto its driver's side. Well, I'm not sure what the driver's side of a motorcycle is.
I was just going to say, what
I guess that's the left side if you're talking about on maybe the driver's side of the driveway. I don't know, but anyway.
I don't know.
Yeah, the witness told law enforcement he helped Lambier pick up the motorcycle and push it in the driveway in front of his residence and believed he might be intoxicated according to charging documents. So the witness then parked across the street and observed him until deputies arrived from Park County, court documents state. So good for him.
Yeah, but wouldn't they need a warrant to go on his property? If he
I would think so. Yeah, I would think so. And also, I guess if you have a witness, if the guy fell over in his driveway, even if he was drunk, I don't know. He may have a case here that's worthy of defending. I don't know. I'll have to see. But he allegedly told law enforcement he drank up to 8 beers after the crash.
There you go.
So he went in the house and got bombed. So when they came, he could say, "Hey, I wasn't drinking when I was riding the bike. I'm drinking now." So,
exactly.
Let's take a phone call, then we got to take a break. Caller, you are on the air. What's going on?
Pardon my hiccups.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta listen. The driver's side of the motorcycle is the passenger to your right side.
Oh, okay.
It's where you roll up the window.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Because if you
I got it.
If you talk back a couple, you would know these things.
That's true.
There you go.
Okay, seriously, Tom and Shane. So, what do you guys? I haven't been listening to the radio that much this morning. So, what are you guys getting? Like voted to best of Bozeman or something like that?
Yeah, BozemanMagazine.com under media. We're in there for personality. We're in there for news station. We're in there for our show and best DJ. and most luscious voice, which
and Tom's voice,
of course, will be me. But,
yeah. What about alter ego?
Well, that needs to be a category. I didn't see it, but if it's there, write me in.
Well, no, write Shane in on that.
Write Shane in, yeah.
Yeah, if you're referencing Tom's muse, that would be me.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Shane's my muse.
Understandable.
Yeah. Shane's my muse.
Well, I got to go back a few years, but back when George Carter was here at Christmas time, remember?
Yeah.
We got this little trophy for the radio station.
We did get a trophy for the radio station out there. We collected the most money, and I'm hoping we can do something like that again with the Montana magazine, that we can rise to the top. The one I'd really like to win is the best morning show. I mean, that would be the one I'd most like people to vote for. I don't really care, if I'm a personality or.
Yeah, would be the highlight. It would be Tom's highlight of his third time in this career.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But we've been here almost a year, so I think we qualify as a morning show in local radio. So I think we should at least be in there. And as I say, if we could win, morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane as the best morning show, or best show, whatever. That would be great.
Huge.
So. Well, just rally like you're doing it. Rally the listeners.
That's what we're doing, man. We're
20 texts a day from Trump.
There we are.
Or his organization on money, and and I'm tired of it. Just because I donated, a couple times, that was it. But you know what? If you stay on it like that.
Yep. Well, we're going to stay on it till
for y'all.
Yeah, we're going to stay on it till November 7th. I think the voting ends. So
okay. Well,
so we're gonna rock and roll till then. As long as we're still here.
Know what to do.
All right. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks for the call. All right. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more right after this. 22 minutes after the hour. It's Wednesday, October 2nd, 2019. 35 degrees outside. Looking for a high of only 46 degrees today. It doesn't look very sunny outside, Shane. Boy, I don't know. Looks pretty dark, and it's almost 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
I don't know. Boy, I don't know. Let's see. Montana's minimum wage is going to increase 15 cents to $8.65 in 2020. In 2006, Montana voters approved an initiative to raise the minimum wage and require it to be adjusted annually for inflation. So the Department of Labor and Industry said Monday about 10,200 workers, or 2% of the workforce, received hourly wages less than $8.65 in 2019 and are likely to receive higher wages due to the upcoming increase. And the minimum wage is calculated by taking the current minimum wage of $8.50 an hour and increasing it by the 1.75 cost of living increase between August of 2018 and August of 2019. The result is 14.8 cents rounded to the nearest nickel, making the increase 15 cents.
Wow, what a winner. Can't even buy a candy bar.
No, you're getting, it's over. It's over for us.
What can you buy for 15? Oh, something at a dollar store. No, you can't even buy something at a dollar store.
I don't know that you can buy anything for 15 cents anymore.
I you know. You know what? They should, if you're going to raise the hourly rate.
Yeah.
The raise should at least provide for you to be able to buy something. There you go. That's a great political.
Okay, so the minimum that you raise it should be enough to buy a soft drink or a cup of coffee or something like that. All right. Well, I don't know. We'll have to see. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up? Okay. Well, I'll bet it was a telemarketer because it was a 608 area code. So now I say that at home too. When I get a call that I don't know who it's from. I said, caller, you're on the air. What do you think about unloading dead babies with pitchforks?
Yeah, I talk to him for 20 minutes and then interrupt him and say, I'm tired now because I've saved so many people from you calling.
Yeah. Or tell him to hang on, I'll be right back, and put the phone down, and and then start arguing.
Put the phone down, turn up the TV.
Put the gun down and just relax. Everything's gonna be fine. We'll see. All right. Let's try the phones again. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Well, I've been listening to your radio on the way down the highway, and I really found it interesting. Your religious people doing their self-judification.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm all for that, but the only problem is you're adjudicating with public money. So, I don't know how that we would put a person in prison, but I do have a few ideas.
Okay.
Take the Catholics, for instance.
Okay.
If one Catholic was involved in some kind of a sexual thing, wouldn't it be better to have someone from afar adjudicate them? Another truly God-fearing type religion. Say the Saudis. Have the Saudis adjudicate.
There we go.
That way, they can, try by the sword and chop by the sword. I'm sure that they would be all for that.
Yeah, we could work that out, I'm sure. They could meet at The Hague.
Yeah, if you want to do the crime, don't be worried about your time.
That's right, yeah.
Well, that's all I got for you this morning.
All right.
Well,
thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Thanks for your point of view. Hey,
you bet.
Right.
See ya.
Take care. All right. Yeah, excellent call, huh? Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah, we should. We'll solve these things out of court. We'll have the God Squad decide the thing. Yeah, bring. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we'll if you have a dispute with somebody, come in on Thursday morning and, once a month, and we'll hold court here for an hour. Right. You can present your testimony before the God Squad, and they'll all huddle up and they'll make a decision on what you ought to do.
That's right.
That would be that might go viral. That might go viral. I don't know.
Secularism is, well and strong,
Yeah, why not? That'll work. Let's see. Well, let's move over. Let's move over to 5 things you need to know. The House Democrats, they want Pompeo to weigh in on the impeachment deal as well. Secretary of State, of course, told House Democrats on Tuesday the State Department officials scheduled to testify in the House impeachment inquiry would not appear before Congress as requested. He accused Democrats of attempting to intimidate, bully, and treat improperly the 5 officials who are relevant to a call between President Trump and Ukraine's president.
And let's be reminded that what this really is a Democrat bankrupting people, right?
Well,
because if they call them before Congress, they got to go write a check for $200,000 for a lawyer. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
Pretty much, yeah. They're going to be, they're going to be. Well, they're not going in there without representation, I don't think.
Of course not. Yeah.
So why don't they? Rudy, I guess, is the White House lawyer or the president's lawyer, but apparently these other people don't have their own. Shouldn't there be just a White House lawyer back in the, back of the West Wing somewhere, warming a seat, ready to go?
There are hundreds of them.
Well, why do you have to pay for them then? You already got the taxpayers paying for these guys.
They're across the street from the White House in the old executive building.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we got to go here. It's the bottom of the hour. Fox News coming up, Montana State News, Brooke Foster weather, ZipRecruiter, and Anderson Windows. So stay tuned, and don't forget, vote for Tom and Shane, MontanaMagazine.com. 24 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Wednesday, October 2nd, 2019, 35 degrees outside. Looking for a high of 46 degrees today. Shane Metalbin, half man and half amazing, is on the line with me from Vancouver, British Columbia, in the beautiful, I hate to call it a country, it's Canada. You know.
It's a country club. Okay?
It's a country club.
We've established that. Yeah. We live in great country clubs.
Yes, we do. Tom Eaglehoff, your morning mayor in the house, so welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. We are in the nomination process from BOZEMAN'smagazine.com for Best Show, Best DJs, Best Personality, and Best News, and some others. So get over to BOZEMAN'smagazine.com, click on Bozeman's Choice on the black bar, and get over there and vote for us under the media section of the voting. And let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hey, guys, it's Kevin.
Kevin, you're going to vote for us, right?
I did it.
All right, you're the guy.
You guys are set. You're going to be flowing in the cash.
All right. Hey, I love it. I just want something on the wall that when I'm gone, they'll know I was here.
Right, or just a cup of coffee, right?
That's right. Yeah, give me a cup of coffee with my name on it. Yeah.
Hey, I got a couple things. One is I was listening in the break there, and they have the little news report, and they're talking about North Korea launching missiles. I mean, does anyone believe that North Korea has any technology to do anything? I mean, this is China doing all their their testing under. So
the Eagle Man called this out 4 years ago.
4 years ago. All right, well, look at that. I'm 4 years behind. Yeah. I mean, come on now.
No, we said that. Yeah, we said that a long time ago that they, they don't have the money, they don't have the technology. China is in the non-proliferation agreement. North Korea is not. So hey, let North Korea test till the cows come home.
Correct.
And their big military parade yesterday in Beijing, and Xi came up behind the new missile they announced they've developed. Thanks to North Korea. Yeah. It goes 500 miles into the atmosphere and can reach the U.S. in 30 minutes.
Yep.
Right. No, I know. And Clinton gave the Chinese back in the 90s all the technology. They were launching missiles into the water, and they were missing their targets. And, And then,
but China signed to join the World Trade Organization. They had to sign the non-proliferation treaty, right?
Right. Yeah.
So how did they test this brand new rocket? Like where?
Yeah, they've got a really big shooting range there in China.
Exactly.
They can't even feed their people, let alone run a submarine.
I know.
But okay, on another note, just the reason I really called was, so the Inspector General or the AG is out and gonna get these reports that are coming out. It's gonna blow away all the Democrats. But, I don't even think it's going to matter, unfortunately. I mean, it should. But, when you have people who are in town, I'm talking to people, I think I said this last week, and they're talking about, the Trump, thing with Biden, and they're like, oh, my God, he talks to Ukrainian president. He said 7 times that, he better get rid of this, and he was acting like a mob boss. And that was all from the fake Peter Schiff rant on the floor of the House. Instead of reading the transcript, which would have shown that Trump did nothing wrong,
Kevin, I'm only going to interrupt you because I want to make a point. It's like global warming. When people bring it up now, I say, really? Obama buys a $15 million mansion on Martha's Vineyard on the waterfront. Sure, that encourages all that this is real. But more importantly, when people bring this up about that, what you need to ask them, have you read the letter the 3 Democratic senators last year sent the Ukraine requesting the same information?
No, I know, but this is what scares me is that up is down and down is up. I mean, you can show them the facts. Like the Inspector General and the Attorney General will come out with all this stuff damning, Brennan and even, all the way up to Obama and everybody. And it won't matter because the truth doesn't matter. They go, oh, did you hear that on Rush Limbaugh? Is that just Fox News telling you that? I mean, I swear that's what I get back when I talk to people. And you just can't even talk to these people.
Tell them it's Kevin. Kevin, tell them it's the messenger, not the message.
Well, yeah, and Biden made it clear,
I got that backwards.
3 weeks ago when Biden said, we don't believe in the truth, we believe in facts.
Right.
Right. I know. But it will be great when this AG and report comes out. I hope it comes out soon because obviously the Democrats are throwing everything at the wall to try to divert attention because they know it's coming. They know they are guilty of sin. They know what they've done.
They're all in, Kevin.
Yeah.
They're all in.
Yeah.
They are. All right. Well,
all right, man. Thanks for the call.
Absolutely, guys.
All right. Thanks for voting, too. Bye. Appreciate it. All right. We got to take a quick, short break here. We'll be back in 88 seconds, Shane. 88 seconds. Count with me. All right. We'll be right back. It's for 16 minutes for the top of the hour. We'll be, we're in Bozeman Magazine, bozemanmagazine.com. Go over and vote for us for best show, best morning show, or best show, period, I guess. Best DJ, best news station. We're also in there for a celebrity, and we're also in there for most luscious voice, which would be, of course, not Shane.
No.
Yeah. Get over there and check it out. They do have two Bozeman Choice local radio stations. Both are KMMSAM.com. But one of them has our website under it for those who may not be familiar with AM 1450 KMMS. So vote for either one, I guess. But the vote with I think they'll probably take one of those off when they see a duplication if they go over there and check it out. But the one with the website under it should be the one that will probably remain. So leave that.
Well, they're trying to split the vote because they probably won't add them at the end.
Well, that could be. Yeah, that could be. They may not. So anyway, let's see. Hollywood, pearly gates, and Satan isn't a Frenchman in red tights and a pitchfork. So I guess there you are. Not sure what's going on there. Let's see. All of Congress gets insider trading info via lobbyists. That's how they end up rich and don't want to leave all that money. Being a career politician, Biden must have lined the pockets of the university his son went to. Fake news, a.k.a. advertising jingles. So there.
There you go.
That takes care of our text. Let's see. We got don't have anybody on the app chat at the moment. So, we're back to 5 things you need to know.
Yay! I get to pat myself on my back.
Okay. Pat yourself.
President Trump, in a tweet on Sunday, warned of, guess what? A civil war if they impeach him.
Yeah. Well,
he's quoting me again, Tom.
I know he is. Well, I don't know if we're going to have a civil war with muskets and lawn chairs on the Hill, but we may have. I would see something like the civil rights movement where people take up sides and say, hey, what's going on here? But I don't think anybody's going to take to the streets and armed to the teeth and start shooting people. But anyway, the headline says Trump incorrectly calls impeachment inquiry a coup, and they define a coup as a violent overthrow or altercation of an existing government by a small group, usually in the military. Impeachment is a form of extraordinary constitutional remedy granted the duly elected and co-equal legislative branch of the U.S. government. So
yeah, but this whole investigation is about an alteration of an existing government by a small group of people.
Well, I was going to say, it may not be. Well, it's sort of violent if you hear the rhetoric of what they're saying. But anyway,
only a New York Times writer, Charlie Warzel, would say it's not a coup, and then give you the definition that it is a coup. I love it. I love it.
From our text line, 478-8298, I voted for you for worst app. Well, hey, it's working today, so get off my back, all right?
Check.
It's working today. Let's see. The next thing on our agenda, ahead of the opioid trial, Johnson & Johnson settled with Ohio counties for $20 million, Shane, in the opioid deal. So I'm not sure. That's like making a gun manufacturer guilty of, I realize they may have handed the pills out right and left, but they weren't on a street corner giving them out to people, as freebies.
Well, the whole horrific thing is that all of this happened, this whole epidemic, the the opioid, under Obama's watch. I mean, where was he with with all the agencies that the president has, and he had them too.
Yeah. And
he didn't do anything about it. I mean, it's not like this has been a big surprise to anyone for the last 10 years. But it becomes, 400,000 people have died from it, and then finally it becomes a problem. Like, I don't know, Tom. This is not good.
No, it isn't. No, I agree with you wholeheartedly with that. It's not good at all. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hi there. Yeah, I was just listening in here on my way into work. So, but do I understand from your recent exchange about the question of Trump calling what's going on a coup, that you're fine with the use of the word coup?
Well, I don't know that I'm fine with it. I'm not sure that it's as inaccurate as the article that we're looking at says, but technically, it's not a violent overthrow. No,
it's not a violent overthrow. But Charlie Warzel wrote this article in the New York Times.
Come on, wait a second. Wait.
It's his definition. It's his definition.
An election is a non-violent overthrow of an existing government. You guys are really working hard to parse this. Everybody knows who went to school what a coup d'état is.
And we did that.
Yeah, we did that. We're just saying it's funny because his definition, in quotes, says alteration of an existing government by a small group of people. Mm-hmm. It's his own definition that he's quoting.
Yeah, we gave both. We gave the what a coup d'état is, and we also gave what impeachment is. So we're trying to put out both.
But at some point, you have to ask yourself. You have to actually be serious rather than just make the jovial banter on the radio about how far we are getting into the absurd and the dangerous when the President of the United States is trying to classify his legally, represented opposition as inciting a violent revolution. That's just really, at some point or another, you just can't keep excusing this stuff.
Yeah. Well, we didn't agree with him necessarily. It's not our article.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks for the call and thanks for the clarification. Yeah.
I tell you, I actually like to listen to you guys because you're a couple of fairly reasonable people on the other side of the political spectrum from me. But every once in a while, you just slip into this stuff where it seems like you left your moral compass behind.
All right.
And that's disappointing to me.
Well, that's the time where you call in and correct us.
All right. Have a good day.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call. Yeah. Yeah, if you disagree with us, by all means, 522-TALK. Let's talk about it. All right, we got to get the Rush update in here, so here's Rush. 3 minutes before the top of the hour, we've had a caller waiting patiently on the line with Shane. Let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you on the air. What's going on?
Good morning, Tom. Good morning, Shane. It's Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Tom, I'm simply shocked that you support this idea of a coup d'etat.
I don't support it.
Away.
When did I support it?
I just wanted to razz you a little bit. No, what I can't believe is
now
that...
Antifa might support it. I don't know.
Well, what I mean is you support the idea that it's happening.
That's right. Yeah.
just shocking. How could you possibly think that?
Well, it's early in the morning, and I didn't get enough sleep, so.
But what I'm really calling about is this division between our political ideology it's just shocking. I mean, when people ignore exact definitions of coup d'etat, I looked it up on Google and I checked it out on dictionary.com. And the New York Times guy, he quoted it exactly right. Small group of people trying to overthrow government, which is precisely what happened. What scares me is the disillusion of the other party. How can you possibly look at what's going on and not see this as a form of coup d'etat? It overwhelms my mind. It puts me at a point of I don't even know how to communicate how ridiculous this is.
Well, the one thing in the definition, it's a violent overthrow or alteration of an existing government by a small group. Now, alteration may or may not be violent. So I guess we're talking about semantics here, probably.
Well, but it's not our quote. It's not our story.
Well, no, it's not our quote. It's not our story. We're just reporting what was said. You know, whether we agree with. I mean, we're not necessarily on one side or the other on this on this definition. You know, it's going to be what it's going to be.
But when an ideological party has to parse individual words, to try to, coerce the statement to fit the picture they're trying. Well, that's not reality. Our English language isn't based on I'm going to take this word and redefine it, which is exactly what the left party is doing and what so many of the voters are doing as well.
You don't mean like pro-choice or climate change, do you?
Well, is it global warming or global cooling? We'll just call it climate change.
Let's just call it climate change. All right.
Yeah, or Schiff, and the chairman of the committee, writing his own parody.
Right.
Precisely. That's exactly the point I was trying to make.
All right.
We're dealing with lies. I know you're at the end.
Yeah, we got to go.
Goodbye. Have a great day, guys.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call.
Thanks.
All right. Say goodbye, Shane.
Bye, Mary. We'll talk in the morning. Everyone be happy, be safe, and God bless.
All right. We'll see everybody tomorrow morning, 6 a.m.